Hi, my name is Sir Hussein Zaider. I would like to be discussing with you today moral obligation. I would like to cite an example of somebody whom I witnessed get charges filed against them, followed by many proceedings to court and accompanied by a lot of legal fees for the lawyer and court costs that enunciated over time in regards to a case this person got. And this case was not a standard case, actually. This person has never had a history, no criminal record. He was simply pumping gas outside of a gas station when he witnessed 7 people attacking a victim, a person that's on the ground. And the reason he's a victim, it's because he was helpless, yet these people were still stomping him and kicking him when he was already down. This actually happened on July 14th, 2007, and the defendant was at the gas station when this happened. It happened in the afternoon at 4 p.m. He witnessed the gang of guys, this gang attacking this person very aggressively. And after assessing the situation very quickly, he thought there was not enough time, based on what's happening, to wait for the police. And in a way, this matter was left up to him to defend this person. For whatever reason it was, he was still helpless. He was still a victim. Many people were stomping him. He had to jump in. That was his moral obligation. And he was also intimidated for the simple fact that there were 7 people attacking this one person. So to give him a leverage, so to speak, he grabbed the nearest thing. This person was in concrete testing, and he had a metal pipe accessible to him in his passenger side area. So he reached for that, grabbed it, wanted to pretty much whack the guys, scare them off, whatever he had to do in a way to defend them without obviously trying to kill them. Hopefully not. Didn't seem like that was the case. So as he approached these people, he screamed, back off, back off. And they did back off as they were starting to get stricken with the metal pipe, so they had to back off, and obviously they got some damage. It was not very severe, but it was enough to get them to retreat. It was enough for him to be able to help this innocent person, or not innocent, this victim, out of an instantaneous judgment for whatever the reason was. The cops did ultimately show up. Now, as we know, per our culture and the way proceedings go, the police like us to wait for them, call them, wait for them. But I could understand this person's position and their dilemma for thinking maybe there was not enough time to wait. Anyhow, that's what ended up happening. The cops did not show up for minutes later. It was stated, according to the report, when things happened, and by the time the cops were there, it was probably about a 10-minute period that passed. And by the time the police came, obviously this person had already defended the victim with a metal pipe, hit a couple of people. He even got hit at some point, according to the report. And to what happened, I got to see some of it on a video. Everybody ended up getting arrested. So to be sorted out, even the person that was Batman got arrested and charged with mob action. And it was aggravated mob action with assault, considering that he used what's considered a deadly weapon, and that's a metal pipe. And this happened because this person wanted to rescue a fellow human being. However, this would be classified as anti-social behavior by a lot of people, as we are instructed to wait, like I said. But his morale, his principle, as some people would do. I know if I was there and in a capacity where I'm able to help out, I would do the same thing. I think he did the right thing here, considering the situation. But our concern is not where the authority lies, and how it's really about how the authority places itself in a role of adversary to anyone brought before its courts, essentially feeling and being treated guilty until proven innocent. Now, this person had to endure a bad criminal record. This person had to, because the moment you get handcuffed, you get arrested, that will show up on your record, and whether there was a conviction or not, it will still show up on your record as an arrest happening. Is not looking good for you, even if you were doing the right thing. And that's because of lack of procedure in place to, in certain situations that would otherwise help this person to clarify his position much better. Which you know, the results were that he beat the case. He was able to beat the case as many other witnesses came forward and stated and witnessed what was happening. And this happened in front of a gas station. So the recording of the gas station also shows this person coming to the rescue. But nonetheless, he did endure a lot of pain, a lot of fees resulting from his interference to help. Now, sorry, I lost train of thought. The laws. What I'm trying to say in this, I apologize. What I'm trying to say in this is that I'm not proposing that cops just let go of people, but what I'm proposing is simply for it to be handled a little bit differently and not to criminalize, in a way, a hero, and for us to have a procedure to protect a person that comes to the aid of another in dire situations. I mean, a lot of people these days, they seem to be scared to be involved, but that's because there's not a clear way for them to be able to help and not be implicated in a bigger problem that they cannot defend themselves in. So that's all I'm saying, is that we need a better procedure in place so other people can help without the law being, you know, the law needs to be applied correctly, and it would be incorrect if it's attacking anybody. So the society, for it to function properly, the three paradigms of law are still relevant. That word is very hard because it's got the G in it. Sorry. The three paradigms of law are still relevant to law enforcement, as more people will do, you know, what fits their needs. But in this case, it would be injustice for this person not to have the law applied directly as it sits against them, because obviously he helped somebody out. And the outcome, you know, we need to have these laws applied, because, you know, if there's no consequences and the law is not being applied, people can do whatever they want. You know, and these laws originate from like-minded individuals who agree on the goal and the law to preserve their survival, to promote the growth of their society, our society. But also, I would like to see it happening in a way where we can still help one another in situations of need. You know, our courts do a great job with justice overall, especially when we compare it to the rest of the world. We are definitely setting the standards very, very high. We do give a voice to the person by having an adversarial system, which is, in my opinion, a very fair and an organized way to reflect upon the issues of argument or the objection or imposing or a crime that was committed. Regardless who committed it, we are able to hear the person's point of view, hear what actually ended up happening, so we can have a better judgment. You know, so it gives a voice to both sides to be heard, and this way a fair judgment is handed down. And if the law is followed in all courts properly, this would be ideal. However, you know, the exception is in place there where there may be corruption or lack of understanding or implementing the law accordingly, which leads me to the professional relationship that's associated in these places from one professional to another, especially, you know, between judges, lawyers, and other legal aids. You know, in my opinion, that needs to be maintained. It needs to stay professional relationship, professional working relationship, in order to maintain justice and not have a bias in a given situation, whether that was intended or not. In our courts, Courts, we do, in my opinion, need to have an inquisitorial system in conjunction with adversarial system, so that the courts is not just a referee, which is, you know, the case of what's happening here. Even though both sides are being heard, which is great, the court is kind of staying out of the way completely, or if not, you know, it's a very big chunk of what happens in the outcome of the case not lies only on the evidence. It is in the hands of very skilled lawyers. And I think I would like to see the courts being more actively involved in the investigation of the facts in the case in order to implement a fair trial. So maybe there should be a criteria for the case to be proceeded forward before the court, the actual court. This will bring better justice and not preferential treatment, or you don't have one team winning and or losing based on the skills of a lawyer. Sometimes all you need is just that little inch, that little extra, just a little small gap, and a skilled lawyer may be able to manipulate or show it from a different opinion what has actually happened, therefore being able to win a case, and thus affecting the outcome of justice being served. So if the court is more involved, we would be able to better close that gap, and we will be able to better serve justice. And that's my opinion. I hope it's okay. And thank you so much for watching my video, and have a wonderful day.